I came third in the class. It was 93% by the way. And my parents grounded me. I already thought I was a failure because I didn't get into IIT, I didn't get into NIT. I hate office politics. I hate resolving conflicts between my employees and leaders.
You invested in
Yeah. It's that one, right? Right now. The link is in my bio. Go for it.
I'm not doing
Link in
that.
bio. Screw you, man. I'm getting out of here. I'll probably take a sabbatical. 1 year I'll be in Kasol and chill. Who are you to tell, right? Once you have a lot of money, more money than what you actually need, then you can do anything you want. Not everybody is perfect. This was the real me.
Hi from Brut. I'm Mehul and welcome to The Other Side. I'm sure you've heard of the 1% Club. But today, we're going to be delving into what I think is 100% of the person behind it. Chat, please give it up for Sharan Hegde, aka Finance with Sharan.
Hi guys, thank you. Thank you so much for having me here.
Hi, how are you?
I can be better.
Why do you say that?
I think life gets harder and harder the more things you do, right? So sometimes you sort of wish like, should I have taken on all of these things, right? Shouldn't I have just bought a villa in Goa and just chilled, with the initial success and money and that you make, right? But because sometimes society sort of expects you to, right? You sort of tell yourself that, hey, I need to do all of these things and I need to build bigger and bigger impact because I'm capable of doing it as well.
True.
So the journey is tough, and probably this is one of those days where I'm talking to you and I'm thinking, should I continue doing this because it is so hard, but now you don't have an option, so you need to keep doing it. But this is the journey of an entrepreneur. It's up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
This is one of those not so good days.
What would you say to this Sharan about your journey? Would you do it any differently? Would you give him certain talks that you didn't get when you were this old?
I think that was the first trip that my parents took me.
Yeah,
and
it's
my
a hill
sister.
station.
It's in Kashmir. We had gone to Vaishno Devi temple and it was freaking cold. It was my first time in sub-zero temperatures. And what I would tell that kid is to not be so angry and moody all the time and not be afraid of what's going to come, because I was really afraid back then about what I'm going to do in life. So I would say that to him, and just enjoy life in general. Start spending a little earlier instead of saving.
Start spending earlier.
Start spending a little bit earlier, because I like I told you, I started splurging only
Later
from
on in
last
life.
year onwards, from the age of 28. Until then, I've just been saving money and being very frugal. Frugality has always been how I operated. So I don't know, man. I'm just getting a flood of memories coming back. I'm not crying. I would. Okay. And what is the question again?
Would you have wanted things differently in your head?
For this guy?
Yeah.
So what I would have told this guy is to not worry too much about the marks and focus more on building relationships, have more deeper connections with your friends and family, and do a little bit of side projects outside of studies. Right, because I have none right now.
Like creative things, but you were pretty creative. I see there's a picture of you dancing. Is this dance you dancing, or is this a play? Sharan, we need answers. What is this?
I don't know what I was doing there. I honestly don't know. I think I was like, it was like a stage performance. There was some dance happening and the music was playing, and me and that girl were supposed to like act like we are singing. Some weird thing, man. My mom's idea. I don't know.
So you were not creative.
I was not creative.
But no, I want to take you back to, I see that you suddenly had a flood of emotions. I want to stick with that, hold that space and, share with me.
You're good at podcasting. It's the first time?
Thanks a lot. Is the first time you like some podcaster?
Is it your first time?
No.
You've been doing it for 3 months, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Thanks a lot,
This is
Sharan.
a good segment. I'm going to use it for my podcast as well.
Then will you give me some money?
Then I'll
Because
give
you're
you some commissions.
But yeah, hold that space. And you were a younger child, as I am too. So I'm sure you had a lot of memories because a lot has changed, right, for you
Yeah.
in your life. So that relationship also must have changed for the better, for the good.
Yeah. I think I don't want to sugarcoat it, right? Everybody will say that, that I love everything about my life. I have a fantastic relationship with my family, fantastic relationship with my, my spouse, with my parents, with my sister.
You have a spouse?
I don't have. I'm just saying you an example.
Okay.
It's a generic statement.
Okay.
Right? But I think what I've realized is that relationships, not just outside your family, but also within your family, have gotten really difficult
Yes.
these days, right?
Yes.
I don't know why. Probably, I mean, an easy target is to say social media is the reason for all of these things. But I think because of the complicated dynamics of families these days,
100%.
right? Because of subtle things like comparisons, expectations that your parents have about you, expectations of how your parents want to react about your partner,
Gender
expectations. What is gender roles?
Man and female, how a person treats the son and how a person treats their daughter.
Exactly. Like, for example, my sister would be unhappy at the fact that maybe my parents, would treat me as a favorite child, right? Maybe because I'm more successful or whatever, right? Or I might be unhappy with the fact that my sister doesn't take my side whenever there is an issue or a conflict, within the company or within the family, whatever. I'm just giving you examples here. But I think all these sort of things have become very complicated challenges in today's day and age. A lot of people, we take it for granted because, like, okay, they are my parents, they're not going anywhere. They are your sister, they're not going anywhere. But I think today's day and age has told us, or has taught me, that if you do not take care of it or nurture it, it might just fade away, right? And then you'll be all alone, right? You have nobody there. You can't just assume that, okay, I have my parents, they'll always be there for me. But if you don't nurture that relationship, or if you don't nurture your relationship with your siblings, right, it can just all go away. And case in point is just the number of civil cases that is there in the court.
Yeah.
Half of them are family related disputes.
Yeah.
And I'm learning about why that is the case now. Right? Because families are so complicated structures. Like growing up, I should always think, why is my dad not in good terms with his sisters? Why is my mom fighting with her brother? Why is my uncle putting a case on my other uncle? I should not understand these things because they're family, right? Why are they fighting?
Yeah.
Right? Even if they have a fight, they should not go and put a case against them.
Yeah.
Right? But now I'm starting to realize that it's very difficult, right? And if you have like a perfect family, you're really, really lucky, right? So that's what I've realized, and that requires effort, that requires understanding, that requires patience, and that requires not having an ego and, doing what's right for the other person, not just for yourself. And that's what love is. If you love somebody, you need to do what's right for them, not for yourself. And when you do that, they will do the same for you. So that is what I would say is my learning about relationships and my family.
Yeah, I think because especially with Indian families, they're so emotionally driven. I think that's where the root cause lies, because they're so emotionally driven, and we're most so often kept in the dark about the financial aspect, right? In an Indian family, we wouldn't know what our dads or what our moms are going through if they're a working family. We wouldn't know what they're going through until we ourselves become an adult, and that education doesn't come from our parents, right?
Yeah.
That comes from us actually going out and seeing the world by ourselves.
Yeah.
So who was that person who actually educated you about this, or was it yourself,
About
your
what?
experiences?
About the emotional stuff.
No, about the financial burden that comes with an emotionally led family.
About the financial burden that comes with an emotionally led family. What does that mean? It's such a loaded statement. Financial burden from an emotionally loaded family. No, I think I Touchwood never had any financial burden
Great.
in my family, right? My dad made a sizable wealth for himself. So,
Oh,
and
so you
he
come
gave,
from money, upper middle class.
I would say upper middle class, yeah.
Okay.
And I will confidently say it without saying, no, I'm not rich.
No, you should
I'm
be
not
true to
middle
yourself,
class.
right?
And I was
You can't
definitely
handle that.
upper middle class. And the problem is most people in India do not want to say that they're anything apart from middle class, right? But I think if your dad was a crorepati, then you are in upper middle class.
Yeah.
Maybe it means nothing in Mumbai, but the city I came from, it was definitely upper middle class, right? My dad put me to the best schools. I was getting the best food. He owned a restaurant.
Tier 1 colleges.
Tier 1 college. I mean, I got free seat, but it's another thing. But I got the amazing food, and I mean, I didn't get PlayStation and Game Boys, which is what I wanted, but didn't get that. I didn't get a car after I graduated from college, so I'm not that upper middle class. But maybe they had the money, but they didn't give me. That's another game that the parents play.
Absolutely,
Right?
they do.
But all in all, I think I came from a well-off background where I am not obligated to send money back home, which is a big, big privilege, right? That 28,000 rupees per month I was making, had I not, had my parents not been well off, I would have had to send everything back.
Yeah.
Like whatever I could save is not for investing. It's to be sent back to my parents. And from the people that I grew up with or studied with in RV college, at least half of the students had to do that. Even now, my friends who are in the US have to send money back to their parents so that they can, because the parents have put every single penny of theirs and more, mortgaged the home to send their kid to the US. And now they have to support them, right? So I thankfully did not have those kind of financial burdens. So every rupee I saved was mine.
When did you first see money?
When did I
As a
first see
child?
money?
Yeah, just saw money and thought, because as kids, we don't really see money.
Yeah.
When did you first see money?
I'll tell you a story. So back in school, I obviously had that auto rickshaw service where auto rickshaw comes to pick you up from your home and then drops you back to your
There's
home.
set amount of people. They
Set
come,
amount
they go.
of people,
Yeah,
usually
yeah.
which is 2 times more than the load of the auto rickshaw, like 8-9 people, and
Yeah.
you are always sitting on the lap of somebody else's lap who's sitting on somebody else's lap.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And,
Been there, done that.
Right. So my school used to end at around 2:45 p.m. But I obviously wanted to play more. Right. I didn't want to come back at that particular time. And I was really into sports. I was really into table tennis. So I like to play till 4:30. Right. And then at that point of time, there's nobody in the school. You're the only one, 2-3 people, you and your best friends.
Yeah.
And then to go back, there is this very narrow, dark road back to my home
Okay.
where there is not much vehicles going.
Okay.
So there's no bus, right? So the only way I can go back home is either walk back, which
Okay.
is about 1.5 kilometer.
You're talking about Mangalore.
Mangalore, yes.
Yeah, okay.
So I used to walk back home with this big bag. And I was one of those studious students who, wanted to pack all my books all the time.
Every subject that
Every
table,
day,
you will have
all the
all
subjects.
the
So that
books.
I didn't
Oh
want
my
to be
God.
caught with my pants down if I, didn't have that notebook, because then the teacher used to belt the shit out of you, right? So I used to just put everything,
Yeah.
pack it with everything.
Wait, you are from the generation where teachers used to hit students? I didn't
You're
get
not?
that, dude.
How old are you?
25?
I'm 29.
So how did
Within 4 years they stopped hitting?
Bangalore difference? No.
Maybe. Yeah. So anyway, they used to hit you right on the back. Anyway, so I used to carry that entire backpack, and it's too heavy, right? It's like 15 kilos by itself. So some days I used to walk, but some other days I used to take the rickshaw.
Okay.
Now you have to pay money to the rickshaw.
Yeah.
So there was this drawer in my house which always had money. 10 rupees, 15 rupees, 20 rupees. So I used to always think that this drawer had unlimited money. So I used to always take 10 rupees from that and give. Back then, minimum rickshaw fare was 10 rupees. So I used to take 10 rupees from that and give to the rickshaw driver. Now, to my surprise, my parents knew exactly how much money is there in that drawer. So they saw these 10 rupees reducing every day.
Yeah.
So then my mom called me and she really scolded me. She's like, how can you pay money from that? I'm like, it's just 10 rupees, what's the big deal? She's like, no, you can't take money. I've already paid for the rickshaw. That was like 300 rupees per month. I've already paid for the rickshaw. You have to go in that only. You can't come. If you miss the rickshaw, then you have to come back walking. So that was my first lesson on how important money is. And obviously, I'm sure everybody by then in my age had heard of Bill Gates,
Yeah.
right? And he was like, everybody wants to know who's the richest man in the world at any given point of time.
Yeah.
Today it is Elon Musk, but back then it was Bill Gates.
Yeah.
And we used to worship him, right? Like especially the nerds in the class, right? So they're like, oh, this Bill Gates, this tech nerd, he's worth hundreds of billions of dollars. When I want to be the richest man in the world.
Yeah.
So I think instances like this really made me really crazy about money, and I always wanted to be rich. Like I really wanted to be rich. Like I manifested it. And when I asked parents, how do you become rich? Because when you grow up, you see that there are different kinds of people. Some guys with big houses, some guys with big cars.
Yeah.
And when you go on the road, you're like, okay, dad, I want this BMW or Mercedes. And then you realize that, okay, not everybody is driving the same kind of cars.
Yeah.
And then you start asking your parents, how do you make more money? Like, I want money. Or when I look at their wallet, I'm like, give me that money. I want that 500 rupees note. They're like, you got to work for it.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, okay, what work do I do? For that, you have to study first. So if you get good marks in school, you will get good grades, which will get into good colleges, which will get you high jobs, high income jobs, and that's how you become rich. So that was drilled into me again from the age of 10. So I was like really studious. I was like, if I didn't get like 100 out of 100, I would be really sad. Like that's how my life was.
Yeah.
Like I used to like really be like worried about it. Like I used to be very anxious. I think a lot of my anxiety issues came from there as well. That whatever anxiety issues I have right now came from those days where I'm like, if you don't get 100, if you just get 1 mark less, it doesn't really matter. But if you get 1 mark less, I'm like, shit, it's the end of the world.
They say that your adult life, dictates your childhood traumas. Then I think that's where your financial, not traumas, but I guess experiences,
Yeah.
I'd like to call it.
Correct.
And I think that's why you take a chance everywhere you can to make money with whether it's your content creation or your business
Yeah.
or everything that you do, of course,
Yeah.
with podcasting now that you're on the other side of,
Yeah.
of things. But when did Bangalore happen then?
Bangalore, so I had gone for my higher education to Bangalore.
College?
So yeah, so I did what my parents asked me to do. So I got 10th standard. I came like third in the class. And you know what happened when I came third in the class? It was 93%, by the way. And my parents grounded me for 2 weeks. They were like, you were coming first or second consistently for 10 years. And on the day that it matters, you came third. The last exam of my entire schooling life, I came third and my parents were mad at me. And then 11th and 12th, same story. 12th standard, I was supposed to get into an IIT, right? Or at least NIT. That my parents were like, okay, IIT might be tough, but definitely get into an NIT. And I had gotten like, out of, I think 10 lakh people who write the exam, I had gotten like 13,000 rank. And then my state rank happened to be something like 1,300. And I didn't get the branches that are considered elite, like EC and computer science.
Yeah.
So I had to sort of settle for like a chemical engineering in NITK, which is the state college, which I didn't want to go. And then again, my parents were mad at me. So finally, I ended up going to a college called RV College of Engineering in Bangalore.
Yeah.
Which is the top state college.
Yeah, it is.
But by then, the way I was raised and the way that I was thinking about the world, I already thought I was a failure. Because I didn't get into IIT, I didn't get into NIT. So I now have to go to this private college in the outskirts of Bangalore, meeting who knows who. And I'm going all alone, no parents, nothing, staying in a PG. So that's how I ended up in Bangalore. So this was in 2014. And I was there for 4 years, 2014 to 2018. And then I got into consulting immediately post-college. I did mechanical engineering, but I didn't like it. So then I realized that in order to make money, you got to go to MBA.
Yeah.
So to get into MBA, you need to work for these finance firms.
Yeah.
So I worked at KPMG for like a couple of years. And then COVID hit. I started creating videos, and here I am.
I did get to see one of your videos from, I think, about 4 years ago. That's still up on your 1% in, YouTube handle.
My Finance with Sharan YouTube channel.
Correct. And the journey from then to now is
Yeah.
obviously manifold. But I want to know, did that pressure from your parents in any way push you so much, or was it on the bad side? Was it more towards the anxiety side, or was it good motivation for you?
I think by then, like most people evolve, my parents also started changing, right?
That's important.
And that is something that I realized, that we sort of criticize our parents for the way they raised us, but they did not know any better because, parenting is also a difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
And then we assume that our parents know it all and they're going to be exactly the same for the rest of our lives. But just like how we change and become better versions of ourselves,
Yeah.
my parents also changed. And they were very supportive of what I was doing. They didn't understand it, right? They were always asking, is there money in this? How much money is going to come from this? Is it worth your time? Is it going to be a distraction? But they were very supportive in the fact that the first video that I made, my parents were so happy with it that they sent it to all of their friends on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
More than half of the views came from people who are more than 55, 60 years old. Right?
Yeah.
The remaining half came from my best friends.
Yeah. You being just around 30,
29.
having a team. I said around, okay. Okay, you being 29, having a team of people, as you just said, they all might be younger than you.
Some are older than me. The
Older than
leadership position people are like, I would say, oldest person would be like 32, 33.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it easier for you to work with the older people? Because when it comes with young entrepreneurs, right, what happens is it's a little more difficult to attain that kind of confidence or that kind of respect. How do you handle that?
So I think people who are like 4 or 5 years older than me, that's not a challenge, right? Because I think we are in the same generation. It's still fine. People probably who are in their mid 40s and early 50s, I've not really had the opportunity to work with them.
What?
So I don't really know because they're too expensive.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I can't hire them.
That's right.
Right, but people who are till their mid 30s, I can still hire them. So I've worked with them and it's great, right? People who are very young, people who are like in their early 20s, that
The
somehow...
Gen Z wave of employees.
Yeah.
Do you have a good opinion about that or a bad
Yeah, I would
opinion?
say like 80% of my employees are Gen Zs.
Yeah.
And that's a little challenging because they have very high expectations.
Yeah, they have boundaries.
Yeah.
We didn't know, as millennials, we didn't know boundaries.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know what do you mean by boundaries, but what I meant was they want everything to happen quickly,
okay.
right? And if their tolerance to suffer through uncomfortable periods of time is very less. Like in our case, let's say, for example, we get negative criticism, or if you're not liking the work for some time, or we don't get that promotion, we're like, okay, let's just wait it out for another couple of years, right? Let's push ourselves, right? Maybe I've not earned it yet. But I think Gen Z right now is really, what's the word for it? Impulsive, right? They don't have a lot of patience.
Yeah.
And because they don't have a lot of patience, they end up making a lot of
Hasty decisions.
hasty decisions, which might be good in the short term, but not good in the long term.
True.
Right. So as an organization, it really becomes difficult to identify good Gen Z talent who will sort of be a part of the organization for the long run. So that becomes a challenge. But that being said, they're really freaking smart.
Yes.
They are really smart. So
Yeah.
that's why I love working with them. And some of them, I actually give them so much ownership and responsibility because they know more than me about that particular subject. So I give them that freedom to do that. And I love working with them because they're like, they always keep me on my toes as well.
When did you start saving?
So I started saving from my salary, from the age of 22, 21, 22. But I was saving up the pocket money that I was getting from the age of 10. Right? I never really spent it.
Are you a spender?
Now I've sort of become a spender because I think I worked really hard to come to this point.
It's okay. You don't have to explain to me why you're a spender.
Now I want to spend because sometimes it sort of also takes the frustration from work. Right?
100%.
Right? Just going out and spending money. That being said, I will not do it frivolously, but maybe the occasional business class flight because, I just I'm tired from my day in Delhi with that bad air. And when I want to come back, I'll just tell my team, you know what, just upgrade me to business. I'm really exhausted. So that sort of spending. Although it's not necessary for survival. But coming back to my savings journey, I started from the age of 10. My parents used to give me pocket money here and there.
10 is too early. Like, How can
Yeah.
you have?
So my mom gifted me a money belt when I was 10. She told me that this is what you're going to save your money in, right? So they used to give me like small notes here and there, just to say that, hey, this is for you. Like they used to see me looking at them with a lot of money, their cash in their wallet, and I'm just looking at them like how a dog looks at, the food on your plate. They just feel
They
bad.
give you a
They
percentage
just
of
give you
it.
like, just keep this,
Le lo.
right?
Yeah.
And then I just started saving it. And then as I got older and older, my grandmother started giving me a lot of money for my birthdays.
It's always the grandparents.
It's the grandmothers, right? And whenever I used to go to our rural home
Yeah.
in the outskirts of Mangalore, there she used to suddenly give me like 25,000 rupees. And I was like, wow.
And this
then-
was?
This was when I was like 19 or 20, right?
Nice. That's like
That's
a
a lot.
month's salary
Yeah.
for back then 19, 20
Correct.
year olds. Yeah.
And she used to like put it in a rubber band and just give it to me, and I used to keep it in the pocket. And my dad knew exactly what had happened in the room, right? So my grandmother used to be like, come here. Because there's a lot of people in the grandparents' home, right? Like 20, 30 people.
Yeah.
She was like, come. Then she used to take me to the room. She used to open her locker. And then she used to
Kannadadalli?
give it. Tulu. I speak Tulu.
Tulu, okay.
Yeah. So then she was like, undirek dile. Then I used to act like, no, I don't want.
Yeah,
It's too
the
much.
way
It's
we've
too
been-
much. It's too much. I just act, Like,
It's
fine.
too much.
Yeah. Then I used to keep it. Then I came out of the room. My dad knew what the hell happened. He's like, obviously, right? He's like, you come here. Then he's putting his hand on my pocket. He's like this, right? How much is this? How much was it? Like that. Right? Then I used to not tell him. So
Did they
then-
take it and save it for you, or did you get to
No,
keep
I
it?
didn't trust him. I just took it back with me and I kept it in my locker by myself. And then I think by the time I turned like 21, 22, by the time I started working, it had accumulated to like 50, 60,000 rupees, all of that savings. And that money at that point of time, I could have either bought an iPhone.
Yeah.
I was thinking of either buying an iPhone or a telescope, because I wanted to I was really interested in astronomy. And at that point of time, I started doing a little research about money because I'm like, if I spend all of this money to get a telescope, then I don't have any more money.
Yeah.
So then I was like, how do I make more money? That's what I started Googling. How do I make more money? How do I invest money? So because I had money, I had that opportunity to ask this kind of questions to Google.
Yeah. So you do need money to make more money, right?
Correct. Right. So that's when I started doing these sort of Google searches, and that opened me to the whole world of personal finance and investing.
What
And
was
then-
your first investment?
Yeah,
Sorry
so
to
then
cut you off.
I realized that I don't want to buy any of these things. I'm just going to save all of this, and I purchased a few mutual funds, and I invest all of it, 60,000 rupees, and I divided it properly across various funds, and I was very happy about it, and I was tracking it like every single day, and that was how the investing journey began. And my first salary, I think it was 27,833. I could
Not
save
bad.
like 7, 8,000, 10,000 rupees per month from that, living in Bangalore.
How? Acha, Bangalore. That's
Yeah,
why.
I mean, I was staying with two other, friends.
Guys,
I was having the smallest room in the apartment.
And also Bangalore at that time, real
Affordable.
estate was fine. Now it's
Yeah,
still gotten
I was paying
worse.
like 8,000 rupees per month in
Oh,
rent.
wow. Okay.
Right, and I had like one room, no attached bathroom, no AC, no balcony, nothing. And those guys had very nice rooms, so I compromised there. The hall was still good, right? So I could save a lot of money, and then I got a lot of salary jumps, and that's the important thing. It is not just enough to have money to make money. You also need to have good income, good salary.
Yeah.
And most of them get stuck in this loop that, hey, I need to invest in stocks and invest in, these futures and options. I need to start trading. But all of that is useless unless you start earning at least 1 lakh rupees a month. And I mean,
True.
in Mumbai, that number would be 2 lakh rupees a month.
Yeah.
But in a place like Bangalore, you need to start at least earning 1 lakh rupees per month today
Yeah.
to be able to save at least 30,000 rupees a month
Yeah.
to make any meaningful change in your investing journey.
True.
Right? If you are earning less than that, you can still save. You can still start that behavior, but it won't make a big difference. So instead of investing in riskier stuff, it's better to invest in your career to change your salary from 50K per month to 1 lakh rupees per month. And that's what I did, right? I worked at KPMG for almost 1.5 years. I didn't get the promotion because of COVID. So they only gave me a 5% hike. So
Yeah,
27,833 became 29 something. Didn't really change anything. So I got really pissed at them. And I quit my job and I joined a startup. and my salary immediately became 60,000 rupees a month.
Exactly. I think this is something that I wanted you to cover, because no matter how big these corporations are or these corporate, jobs are, I think the first place that you can negotiate your salary is the first time, because the appraisals don't matter.
Yeah.
All of these things
No,
are
they
very
do. So
minute.
I'll tell you, they do. Right. And I have to say this because now I run an organization. Right. But I was really pissed that I worked my
Yeah.
So that is when I decided to switch jobs. Having said that, if you're really, really good at what you do, like for example, in my company, I have given a 50% hike as well to certain employees. It's not going to happen to everybody. Out of 151 might get it.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're really good at what you do, and if you're working as hard as the founder of the company, and if the founder sees it, you can ask the moon.
Okay.
Right? So it's not true that, no matter what you do, you won't get. But you obviously need to sacrifice a lot of things for that. It's not going to come to you if you just work as per expectations.
True.
If you just come in at 9 and leave it at 5, they're not going to fire you, but they're not going to give you a 20-30% hike. But if you work from 9 and then leave at 8 o'clock, not every day, some days, and then maybe few times you go over and above, where everybody in the company knows that this person is killing it, this person saved us from that. That's when you can demand anything you want, right? 20% hike, then you get it, not otherwise. So it's the law of the jungle, right? The winner takes it all.
What are some things that you push yourself in, and what are some things that you love doing that comes naturally? At this point in your life, of course.
Yeah, I love doing research. I love writing scripts. I love shooting. What I love looking at numbers.
Okay.
Love looking at the profit and loss statements, and analyzing how much to invest for what and all of that. I hate office politics. I hate resolving conflicts between my employees and leaders. I hate about how a certain person felt about what I said in the town hall meeting.
But
right?
doesn't that come with the job?
It
Sharan?
does exactly, right? So it's that, like, what I realized that when you're an entrepreneur, the toughest part of the job is not making the money. It's about managing the team, right? Organization behavior is what they say, right? And the company becomes a different beast the bigger and bigger it gets. And the way you manage the company, there are certain rules and things that you learn, and certain things that you say or you don't say can make a very rippling effect in the change of the mood of the employees.
Absolutely.
Right? And the mood of the employees is extremely important for the success of the company.
100%.
Right? So if the mood of the employees is down, doesn't matter how much salaries you're paying them, how much hike you're giving them, the output is not going to come. And that really comes from the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, and the way you set the vision. Where the employees feel like they're really part of something bigger than themselves, and they really enjoy doing what they're doing.
Your digital personality might be very different from your real personality.
Yeah.
As you very rightfully said. Was that a difficult challenge for you to bridge the gap? Can it be, strenuous sometimes?
Not really. Now it comes naturally. Now it's like I am two versions of myself. Like I don't look at it as digital personality and normal personality. I think that's how I used to look at it before, that in front of a camera I'm different. But this is not my digital personality, to be honest. This is the real me who's speaking. This is exactly how I will talk to my friends. But what you're talking about, the high energy,
You invested in
it's that one, right? What is happening, everyone? That one, right? That is like the public speaking version of me. Where I'm assuming there are 1,000 people in front of me. Like when I'm on a Zoom session, I know there are 1,500, 2,000 people. So I can't talk like this. People will drop off. They're going to be bored. So I need to bring that energy. Or when I'm getting on the stage, I need to bring that energy. When I'm acting, when I'm creating a reel, I need to bring that energy, right? So it's not different versions of me. It's not the camera version, non-camera version.
It's just a caffeinated version.
I actually drink black coffee before I do that, right? So it's the version of me that is needed to keep the crowd alive. But my energy is, I've been told it's quite high. Right.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
No, on
Maybe
the
sometimes
stage.
when you're passionate.
On the stage.
Huh.
You've not seen me on the stage.
How
You've
do
not
you...
attended my masterclass, I think. You should attend my masterclass. It's called the Retire Early Masterclass. It happens every Sunday, 4 p.m. You should book right now. Right now! The link is in my bio. Go for it.
I'm not doing
Link
that.
in bio. It's
You really want me to do it
Yeah.
right now? No.
just 249 rupees plus GST. Come on.
Any plans of moving to the UK?
I think my long-term plan is to go to a country or a city where I am not feeling like my health is compromised. Right? UK could be one such option because I felt like I'm not too away from home, and it doesn't really feel like I'm in a foreign country, right? Like if you go to another European country like Paris or Germany, you are really a foreigner there because they're speaking in a different language. You can't understand shit.
Yeah, and they don't speak in English.
They don't want to speak in English.
Yeah.
In the UK, it's like it just feels like you can live there. I mean, of
Also
course, it's
because so
expensive.
many Indians have gone.
So many Indians, that's there. I mean, the highest number of immigrants in UK is Indians.
Yeah.
So it's very expensive. I'm not going to say
Yeah.
that it's an option. Like a lot of people look at this here and what are you saying, Sharan? The economy is not doing well. There is no jobs
Food
over
is so
there.
expensive.
Food is so
Rent
expensive.
is so expensive.
Correct. But I'm speaking from the perspective of, hey, I have a lot of money. Can I go there and not worry about expenses? Right? And that decision is being taken not from a financial point of view. If financially the best choice is to go to the poorest country in the world, right?
Correct.
Right? Why even live in India? Go to the poorest country in the world with all your money, and that's the financially best decision.
Yeah, and retire early.
And retire early, right? But from a health point of view, considering the air quality, the infrastructure, the traffic, the mental stress, and all of that, I think the biggest cities of India are probably not that place anymore. Right? Probably you go to a smaller town, but then because I'm a guy who likes to go out and likes to do activities, the smaller towns in India don't really have that.
And
right?
also availability of things.
Availability
right?
of things.
Yeah.
So I'm left with no other option but then to look at something like a Dubai. But Dubai has too many rules which I don't like, if you know what I mean. And I would probably
But they
like
don't
to,
have taxes, no. Isn't that like the perfect...
No, now I'm not making a financially sound decision. If I'm thinking about minimizing my expenses, I will go to the poorest country, right? But if I want a well-balanced, rounded life, then I'll go to a developed economy where the infrastructure is good, where the air quality is good. So that brings me to certain cities in the United States, or it could be the UK, right? Or Dubai also. Right, so this is how I look at maybe living as a global citizen. Where I'm not saying that I'm leaving India, never coming back. I can never do that because my family is here, right? And I'll always be connected to this country.
Yeah.
But is it necessary that I need to live in only one place the entire year? Right? Maybe I can spend 3 months in India, 2 months in Dubai, 3 months in UK, another 3 months in the US. So I can live a life like that. And a lot of HNIs do this.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of Bollywood celebrities do this.
Yeah.
It's because this way they're exploring all parts of the world and they're living their life like that. And obviously it's a very privileged thing to say that, to live a life like this. But if you have the money, why shouldn't you do it? Right?
Exactly.
I shouldn't be ashamed to say that I want to live a life like that, right? Because I want to live a life like that.
Do you ever fear making a lot of money and then getting in on your head with it?
Getting it to your head, you mean?
Yeah.
Like being arrogant and being narcissistic and being a dick.
That is definitely one side of it. But the other side is being anxious, not being able to know what to do with that amount of money.
Yeah.
Just being scared of that amount of money.
I think that money brings out the truest version of somebody. I certainly feel that. Like when you have money, you get confidence and you can actually be who you are. Because this is what I think, right? This is my theory. When you're born into this world and you're in your early 20s, where you have very little freedom because you are controlled by your parents, you're controlled by your boss, and you're controlled by whoever, right? whoever you're financially dependent on is controlling you.
Yeah.
Now, maybe control is the wrong word to use, but whoever who is sending you money is actually controlling you.
Yeah.
Right? And they're not just controlling what you do, they're also controlling your time. Right? And because of that, we're expected to be in a certain way. And then we naturally think that this is how I am. But when you sort of start getting some money in, first thing, you will give less focus on your employer or your boss. You'll be like, if I don't like it, I'm out of here. That's again maybe one of the problem with Gen Zs, that they're already having well-off parents. That if they don't like their job, they're like, screw you, man. I'm getting out of here. I'll probably take a sabbatical 1 year. I'll be in Kasol and chill. Who are you to tell me, right? That's how they think, right? But when you're a millionaire, you're like, my parents are middle class. Sorry, boss. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way. That's not how I meant it. I'm sorry. Like,
I get it done. Yeah.
Right? I'll get it done. By EOD, yes, I'll have it by EOD. No problem. So that is how you are. Now, once you get a little bit more money, now you're no longer even answerable to your parents. Now, a lot of kids or a lot of people in their early 30s, they give a lot of importance to what their parents say because they know that if they don't listen to them, there might be some issues when it comes to passing of the inheritance. Right? Because there's a lot of conflicts which happen between siblings when it comes to the passing of inheritance. Now, if your parents are significantly richer than you will care about what they say. Also to the extent that you will not even get married to the person that you want because your parents are not approving of them. Right? Yeah. But once you have a lot of money, more money than what you actually need, then you can do anything you want. You don't have to get up in the morning at the time that your boss is asking you to. You don't have to work for 1 or 2 weeks or 2 months if you don't want to. You can date and marry whoever the hell you want, right? You don't really care, right? So because of that, there's a different version that's coming out of now, right? Now, because you know that you have this freedom, the things that you say, in the beginning, you come across arrogant because it's all of a sudden new for you. All of a sudden, you're now feeling this freedom and you're just saying things which you could have never said before. And you're talking like very few people because very few people have this kind of freedom. True. Because very few people have this freedom, you come across as arrogant because everybody will be like, what's wrong with this guy? Why is he talking like this? None of us are like that because you guys are not free. The people who are really free, they're in the initial days, they're a little arrogant. But then they start realizing, right? Then they're like, I need to calm down. Because you know why? Because they're like, I want to be like this, but if I'm going to be like this, everyone's going to think I'm a dick. Yeah. Everyone's going to think that I'm arrogant. So I'm going to be very humble. I'm going to act humble. You see, you think all the rich people who are out there, who are talking about, how humble they are. I came from humble middle class background. That's all like a PR stunt just to get the love of the audience, right? In reality, if, in close circles, when they talk with their friends, they don't talk like that.
Obviously, yeah.
Right? They're not talking like, I come from a humble middle class background. I work my ass off this, I love the people, I love the employees, all of that, right? Nobody talks like that.
Yeah.
So what you realize that when you become rich, the truest version of you comes out, which is initially very, arrogant and angry. But then you sort of start adjusting to that and you sort of practice humility. And then people love that. Oh, even though he's rich, he's humble. Look at him. So rich and still humble. Still wearing simple clothes. Still not flaunting any expensive Prada, Gucci things. Look at these actors, Bollywoods, how much they show off, this and that, right? Look at this Ambani wedding, so much they spend, right? You heard Adani is not calling any celebrity for his son's wedding. Yeah. So humility, so much humble. So in India, people love the fact that even though this person is rich, they're not showing off or not boasting and they're very humble and nice. So I think that's a cycle that everybody goes through. Once they become rich, they're arrogant and then they practice humility.
You've thought about this.
I went through that journey.
Do you have more money than you want?
I think if I had to live as a single person for the rest of my life, yes.
Which you obviously don't want. No? Yes?
No, I'm just saying if I have to just take care of myself, then I have more money than I want. But if I'm going to say that, hey, I'm going to get married and have 2 kids and I want to...
Which you want?
Which I would want to, yes. Right? And if that is the case, I would say I still have enough. I still have enough. But it depends on the expectations of the family. Because
Also-
I might say that, okay, my kids will be happy with so much. But how they turn out, I don't know. Like, it's that even my parents, now that I think about it, when they raised me, they would have thought that my kids should be happy with just food on the table. But this bugger wants Beyblade, it seems. Wants me to buy a PlayStation 5. Are you kidding me? He didn't account for all of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what my kids will want from me. Right? So I don't know what they'll expect. So considering that, I don't know. But if I assume that my kids will have the same lifestyle that I've had, then yes.
Which I'm sure it's not the case, because things are going to change. With every generation comes a whole new life, a whole new set of
Correct.
formats of living.
Correct. Like for example, right? How many outfits do you have?
Very many, I can't count. That's why
Yeah.
I said I'm
Yeah,
not
like
able to
how many
save.
outfits did your mom have when she was your age? She would have never even assumed that my daughter is going to have 100 outfits when I had 5. So that's just one example. I'm not saying my kid will have 1,000 outfits. That doesn't make sense. But there could be some need in his life which I never even expected. Or the future has a certain thing which everybody needs, which is very expensive, which nobody thought of. I don't know. Right? So I don't know what that's going to be. So maybe I need to make a little bit more money to have that insurance.
You want to become an actor?
Why
Wanted
are you
to?
asking that?
Just because I heard from someone that you wanted to become an
who
actor.
said? No, I think it's no, I think it's just a fantasy, right? You want to come on TV and act like you're Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt, or be a part of a very cool storyline where you're the protagonist, because all of us are protagonists of our own lives. You sort of feel that, right? Sometimes when you think about yourself, you sort of think like you're in a video game and you're the hero.
Obviously, yeah.
Right?
Main character syndrome.
Main character
Yeah.
syndrome, right? So that's the same thing. Even everybody like wants to feel like, hey, I'm more important than I actually am. So I want to be in a movie, and in that movie, I'm the main character. And look at me, I'm the hero. And then people are gonna watch it. And then like I associate myself with Harvey Specter from Suits. Like I want to be that guy.
Oh, yeah?
Right? Like obviously, like
Nice.
any guy you ask who has watched Suits, everyone's gonna be like, I want to be Harvey Specter. Right? So then you start of thinking, okay, what if I could be in a cool show like that? I could be Harvey Specter. Like, look at me, I'm trying to dress up like him.
Dress
right?
the part, yeah.
Dress the part, right? So it's that. Right? And plus, I love being in the set. I love, but only I want to do it once. I just want to do my lines once. Once they tell me to do it for the 6th or the 7th time, then I get annoyed.
Yeah.
Then it's not fun anymore. But when you're like doing it for the first time, second time, third time, and you're playing it out with the actor, and then you see in the camera how it has come, it's a very fun process. And then you work with the director, and the director is like, can you act like this? Can you do this? Can you just put a pause over here? 4 or 5 times it's fun, and then the 7th, 8th time it becomes annoying.
Yeah.
Because sometimes these ad shoots, it starts at 9 in the morning and goes at 7 in the night.
100%.
For a 30-second ad.
Yeah.
So it gets really annoying that time.
Yeah.
But it's fun for the first few hours.
Have you ever done this?
Many times.
How was your experience on a set?
It's in the beginning, it's really nervous because you're like, earlier when I used to act for my own videos, it's just me in my bedroom alone, no one to judge me, and I'm looking at the playback and watching it. First time I had to go in a set, I was so nervous because there is 30 people behind.
And there's a huge camera.
Huge camera, 30 people behind, and the makeup is coming, this, and then like action, like it's very, you feel very nervous. Now it's fine. It's just you get used to it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think being in front of the camera is quite a difficult challenge, especially if you haven't had that kind of background or that kind of training. Did you get any acting training? I'm sure you
No, I've
did.
not gotten any training. It's just watching movies.
Which movie is your favorite?
Interstellar, Dark Knight, Inception. Like I would say, instead of naming movies, I'll just name my favorite actors. I like Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt,
Robert Downey Jr.?
Robert Downey Jr. Yes, absolutely.
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves, yes. All the main character people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am a movie person.
Yeah.
If you make me sit down, that'll be another podcast. We'll talk about movies.
Yeah. But yeah, I like watching those movies, and I also like to enact them. Like some of my skits earlier was enacting certain favorite dialogues of mine. Like I used to enact Suits.
Can you
part.
give me a dialogue,
Now
please?
now it's
Please.
putting me on the spot. No, yeah, it'll be very embarrassing. I'm not gonna do it.
What about the
for your
what?
TRP? I'm not doing it.
Okay, we didn't get the clickbait we wanted. How has your 2025 been?
So far, I think it's. I think I need to be very grateful. I mean, I was just thinking about all the problems. I'm thinking problem. Am I gonna?
Spoken like a true entrepreneur.
Should I say it's been a bad year? No, I think. Then I started talk. Then I suddenly thought, there are so many things good in my life. So I think.
Such as?
What I'm grateful for, my beautiful home. I love having my own space, my own energy, which feels like this is a place where I can just chill no matter what is happening in my life or work. So that's important to me. Then my health, everything is fine, thankfully. And the luxury to travel the world whenever I want. Like a lot of people say, if you're rich, what will you do? I'll travel all over the world. I can do that. So I'm very lucky to have these three things in my life and order whatever you want in the restaurant without looking at the prices. Right? So these are all like small things, but very big things if I dial back in time.
Yeah.
So no matter what is wrong in my life, I cannot be sad because all of these things are good and billions of people want all of these things and I have it. So I have no right to be sad about my problems in life, which are seemingly big because I can't make more money. Right? But the money that I have is already so much that I have all the things that billions of people want. So, I mean, I'm not talking about me having thousands of crores, right? You don't need that much money to have all the things that you want.
Yeah.
Right? But the amount of money that I have, it's enough to sort of live the life that I want without ever working for another single day. So I cannot even say that what is wrong in my life and I should be sad about it.
That's a good perception to have, I think.
Yeah.
What would you say to this Sharan about your happiest thing that you have in your life right now? If you were to, if he would...
You can buy all the toys that you want, anything you want, but you don't want them anymore, unfortunately.
You haven't bought yourself a PS5
No,
things
that's what I told my parents, that you should have bought me back then because now it doesn't matter to me anymore. So if you had bought it for me back then,
would
that
you have
joy,
been this person though then?
I don't know that. I don't know that.
The
But
butterfly
that's debate.
effect.
That's debate with butterfly effect.
Yeah.
But now it doesn't matter to me. So,
Actually, this person...
I think this is a drawing competition.
You told me you were not creative. You're drawing, you're dancing.
No, that is not dancing. That is just a show.
Okay.
This is the drawing competition, and what I would say to this guy is that you're gonna keep winning in life, man. You're gonna keep winning bigger and bigger awards.
You always talk about investment journeys and, but on the other side, can you just give us a 60-second masterclass on slowing down in life?
First thing I ask is this a problem that's gonna affect me 5 years from now? Is this a problem that can be solved if I put in enough time and energy into it? And lastly, even if this problem is not solved, will I continue to be able to put food on the table and have a roof over my head? If I answer these three questions, obviously it's not always going to be yes, no, but it gives me a perspective of how much I should worry about it and how much I should not worry about it. Because what happens is, sometimes in the current generation, we worry about problems so much that biologically, if you do the analysis, it is like our older generation people thinking that a lion is right here and about to kill us.
Yeah.
Right? So if most problems in life are not like a lion is about to kill us, but we make it that big in our head. So if a problem is not big enough that you're going to be on the streets, then it is not worthy enough to be such a big problem in your head that it's equivalent to a lion about to eat you right now. So I think that is my framework. It doesn't work all the time. Just for the answer's sake, I'm saying it takes a lot of time to kind of build these kind of frameworks, and meditation also helps. So meditation sort of helps you to put these thought process back into your head. Because when you're stressed, you're in that negative spiral loop and you can't even bring yourself to think about these things.
Yeah, 100%.
But when you're meditating, when you finally calm down, then you can start of telling these things. Will this problem affect me 5 years from now? Is this even, going to put me on the streets? No. Then why the are you worried?
Thank you so much. If there's something that you would want to tell to our Brut audience, please, this is your time.
I think this was a very long conversation. A very different side of me has come out today. Very little money, more about my childhood, my insecurities, my emotional side. I don't know if everything what I said is politically correct or how it's going to be taken in the woke society. But for anything that I would have said which was incorrect, I'm really sorry for that. But I just wanted to be raw and real. Not everybody is perfect. This was the real me. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you. And that is bye from Brut. Thank you so much, Sharan. No,
No, okay.
dap karte hain aise.
Thank
हाँ.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, that's a wrap.